Hi guys, and welcome to another video here on our community. Today I want to talk to you about what are webhooks and how you can use them on make.com. So this is actually a really good way to make automations, and most of the times it can be quite tricky, but it's actually really simple to use. And yeah, you can actually incorporate these, especially for triggers, in most, or I'll say like 80% of your automations. And this is just an explanation. It will be like a really quick video to show you how you can use them, how they work, and how they can implement on your automation. Okay, so as you can see here, this is just a basic here on our screen, a basic automation that we have. But basically webhooks, and is this one here, this module here, you use them when the platform itself, so make.com, doesn't have access or like a direct integration with application. Okay, so right now, and you see it on make.com and Zapier and our platform, they are always adding new apps to connect with, but some of the times you cannot find that app that you really want to use, and some people just quit, right? But with webhooks, which majority of the apps will have it, you can actually connect hundreds of other apps that are not on make.com to actually make the automation work. And that's how you use webhooks, is when you actually don't find the app inside of Make, or if there is like an action that you don't find on the current app. And this is a really good example that I will give you today, which is this webhook. We are actually pulling data from Instantly. If you guys don't know, Instantly is just our email outreach responder, so it sends in dozens and dozens of emails per day for us on our sales campaigns. And there isn't actually an integration with this app. If you come here and add it and you call Instantly, you see that there is the app here on make.com. However, the thing that I will show you on this example doesn't appear here until at least for now. Maybe when you're watching this video will be here, but for now it doesn't show up. Okay, so what we want is just, I will use a webhook to actually make the action. So instead of quitting and not using and try to change to another app rather than Instantly, I can use webhooks to continue the automation and keep it work. Okay, so basically what the webhook is, just transfer data from one app to these, even if they don't have an integration directly with the platform make.com. Okay, so basically if you come here, you can actually write webhooks here, or in this case I already have it because it's on this scenario. But if you just search for webhooks, it will appear right in here, and you can see that there is 3 here. Okay, the first one I will leave you for another video. It's a different type of trigger, but the main one that we use is this one here. Okay, the custom webhook, which is instant, and then you also have an action, which basically the difference between the trigger and action is that the trigger is actually starts an automation. So this is the first point. So every time that happens something on the exterior app, it will start the automation. This one here is more for sending information to a webhook. So it's quite different, just an action inside of your automation. But the main one that we use most of the time is the custom webhook, because you want to start an automation when something happens on a specific app. In this case, Instantly. It can be, for example, this is used a lot with built-in forms. So if you use WordPress, Wix, Insta Pages, or whatever, most of the contact forms don't have an app on make.com or Zapier, so you can use a webhook. So every time someone fills out the contact form, it starts the automation. You can send the data to Google Sheets, a notification to your email, whatever you want to do, but you can use a webhook to catch that information. So most of the time, as I said, we use custom webhooks. Okay, so how does this work? I'll keep it short and sweet. So basically, what I want to do in this example is that every time I change the status of an email, so I receive a reply, I can show you here, for example, let's say this one, which is out of office, but imagine that there is another thing. I want to create something specific. In this case, I want to send to Airtable. So I want to send add to CRM, which we use Airtable as our CRM. So every time there is a change of status, so every time I come here, click, and I say add to CRM, what I wanted to do is to send data to our CRM. So I want to send the name of the person, the email, maybe like what was written on the email, and more information that I want. Okay, so this is actually a custom action. Okay, so in order to do this, I used a webhook, because one of the things that you always do is that if you cannot find the app on make.com, always search for the app on webhook. So you can say Instantly and you search for webhooks. Okay, so always search for webhooks to see if you actually have webhooks on that specific platform that you want to use. Here, as you can see, you even have on their articles on their help center, it actually talks about webhooks. You can see they also have the app, as I told you. Right now they are adding more, so depending on watching this video, maybe you don't need to use the webhook anymore, as I told you, but for this moment I will share this as an example. Public integrations, Zapier, also instantly webhooks on Zapier if you use Zapier instead of make.com. So as you can see, instantly has webhooks. So you can just do a quick search before you want to do some automations to see if there is a webhook if you cannot find the app on make.com. Okay, so in this case there is, and I can show you here. If I go to settings and I go to integrations here, there is webhooks here. As you can see, webhooks here right here on the left side, and I have a couple of them here. But basically what you need is this URL, okay? Because if you see here, when we open a custom webhook, what happened is that make.com will give you a URL. Basically is the trigger URL for the webhook. So this is created, you need to click add here and you create one. The only tip that I want to give you is that always name properly exactly what you want to do, because if I click add here, it will ask me to give a name. IP restrictions just if you want to have some privacy, but I don't recommend to use it right now for this video. And there's another advanced settings that you don't need it right now. But the main thing to create a webhook is just name it properly, okay? Because then you can come here as well on webhooks here on the left side, and you have a list of all the webhooks that you have here on Make. And if they are not named properly, they're all my gateway webhook 1 or webhook 2. You don't know exactly what they serve for, okay? So always name your webhook exactly what you want. In this case, as you can see, I added instantly add to CRM, which is the tag that I want to use on instantly, okay? So then when you create one and you click OK and save, it will give you this URL, okay? And this URL is what we want to use on the app that we want to trigger. So if I go back to instantly and I add a webhook, as you can see here, it will tell me to add the URL. So I already have one, but in this case, I will just copy and paste these. You can copy address to the clipboard. If I come here, I will copy and paste. So I will add the URL here, and then I can choose whatever action I want. In that case, was every time there is add to CRM tag. You can select the campaign or all campaigns, depending what you want. We have a different type of campaigns. As you can see here, we have a lot of them. But in this case, I can choose the action that I want. But basically, the event type that I choose here, it will trigger this URL that goes to make.com. And this is mostly for all the apps. If you would like a WordPress form, you will have a URL that you put on Elementor or WordPress, for example, on that specific custom form that you know every time there is a submission, it will trigger the action on Make. So it's really simple. You just need this kind of URL, and then the app somewhere will tell you to put the URL, and then you can choose the activity that you want, okay? In this case, I will not add a webhook because I already have it here. Right in here, all campaigns add to CRM is this one here, okay? But basically that's it, okay? This is made. So then if you see, for example, and I can click it, for example, if I click run, it will wait for data. So now it's waiting for me to add someone to add CRM, and then continues the automation. So I will stop, I will run in a minute so you can see the full one, but I'll just stop, okay? And basically here, what I want to do, in this case, I want to send the information to the Airtable. You can do so many things. You can, put an email. So everything like this, after this, you can actually do whatever you want with the information, okay? In this case, I just want to add to Airtable. And if I open here, I create a record on a CRM hub, which calls opportunities. And basically here is already some information. Here was a previous run that I made. And this was basically the information that gave me when I changed someone from instantly to add to CRM tag. This is what gives me the instantly. It gives me the email, the title, the website, then first name, last email, last name, timestamp, lead email again, which is the same, company name, campaign name, the personalization that I use on the emails, the timestamp, as I said, the date. This is plenty of data that I can use. So I can do a lot of things with this webhook, right? Like I can have a tag on instantly saying, I don't know, send an email to myself, like a notification. And I can use all of this information because this webhook grabbed all this information for me that now I can use. And in this case, I want to push this information to Airtable. So as you can see here, I have a Airtable right here. As you guys can see, this is an example. and basically with some columns, first name, last name, basic CRM, we can say that way. And here, as you can see, I changed it. So I put it the company name here. So I choose company name here. Stage, I put it the stage that I wanted, the priority. So this is all the columns that I have here. You just need to write it down, because on this stage and priorities, if it's a drop down on Airtable, you need to choose. But it depends on the module that you want to use. Okay, I think the most interesting thing here is that I'm using the data that I'm collecting from the webhook to continue the automation. Okay, and you can see here I add the first name, last name. So I just fill out all the little steps from the webhook. Okay, and it creates instantly a record on Airtable. And again, I can continue these, send to LinkedIn, I can send an email, again, I can send for another CRMs like Pipedrive, Go High Level, whatever I want, it can continue. But this webhook, you can do whatever you want. And as I said, it doesn't have to be just contact forms. It can be so many other apps. It can be financial apps. It can be, alert apps. Wherever you cannot find on make.com, always look for webhooks, because probably you can do some automation with that. Okay, that's how you use webhooks. And I will say the advantage here is that they are at the spot, so it's like they are immediately. So every time there is like a submission form, or I change the tag on instantly, automatically we'll start running this automation. As you know, on make.com, most of the modules, when triggers, you need to choose a time. So you need to check every 5 minutes, every Monday at 9. So you need to choose like a time frame and a timestamp to always check the automation. But with webhooks, they are immediately, which is a really, really great advantage. So if you don't want to wait, always try to use webhooks, because they will be immediately. Okay. For example, I can give you a really quick example. If you use Google Forms, the app on make.com, it's you need to wait a time. So you need to tell them like every 1 minute, every 5. So you will check the form for new submissions, but you always need to check a time. Okay. If you use a webhook, you don't need to put a timer. Every time there is a new one, boom, automatically we'll start the automation, which is really, really good if you don't want to wait those time frames. The webhooks are really, really helpful. Okay, but yeah, this is basically the example. As I told you, I can run it for you to see it. Maybe do a test example here. So if I run this, and now I need to go to instantly. Okay, so I will change. Let me just go to one here. It doesn't matter. It can be this one that said no, but I will just add to CRM, and let's see if it works. If it gives an error. So as you can see, you already catch one and sends to Airtable. So it's, if I can come here, boom, as you guys can see from the Scale It training campaign. Okay, of course the reply was no thank you, but here is the lead email, the title, last name, first name, company name, LinkedIn URL. So even if I want to send, I can even have like a tag to send to LinkedIn, which is really powerful as well. And I have like a reach, which is a LinkedIn automation campaign. So I can easily put a tag on instantly, automatically sends the person to connect on LinkedIn, which is really powerful. But as you can see, personalization, everything in here that is on instantly, it catches the information, and then it created, as you guys can see here, it created the personal Airtable. So if I come here, as you guys can see, it's right in here. Okay. It's called the name, last name, and some other information, but as you can see, automatically increase. So you don't have to wait any seconds. He automatically sends the campaign and the information to that. Okay, guys. So it's really simple, really powerful webhooks, guys. And as I said, hope you guys enjoy. This is a beginner's video on our beginner guide. So if you didn't watch the other videos, please go and watch them. But yeah, I hope to see you on the next video. I hope you liked the video. Just comment below if you have any questions about webhooks or make.com. Yeah, just check the other videos, and I hope you can just start going more complex on make.com and just check our other more complex automation that we have here on our community. If you're not watching this video on our community, just check on the description below, check all the links. There'll probably be a link for our community in our newsletter. So if you are not there, if you're not checking our AI newsletter, please just go on the links below and check it. I really appreciate that. But yeah, any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll see you on the next video.